Oh my god. It's been going on all night outside. All freaking night. Some older lady's voice and her yell out, Ken, I know those boys break dirt. How about you taking care of it? Well, we all know they freaking do. I'm tired of rambling about all the people knowing the drugs, the photoshopping, the holiness, whatever shit is. I'm tired of it. And the alter tapes. The other day out at my clients in Navarre, some guy had said cut it out. Ken said he's not paying for it anymore. I've heard of Ken before. I don't know who he is. But add to the list of the names. But yeah, there's some lady out there yelled his name tonight. Can I know those boys raped her. I'm gonna be taking care of it. Yeah, they did. Walls protect a life case. They got him like the Amish men with the beards. Protected from custody. Set up legally by the FBI. Turned over the place. And we'll really needed to look into something. Somebody, the undercover police from Ravenna have been gone for a little bit. Somebody said that they're detaining him, trying to question him, find out who actually put him up to it. Oh, they are. Some lady showed up 2 days ago. I know her husband was dating my daughter. They said they had someone impersonate me. It wasn't me. I didn't know anything about it. I hope she's not really involved in this. I didn't even look up. I thought I'm not dealing with you. It'd be something if they had somebody impersonate Michelle's mother. That would be something. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter. They did all this for her and our family watching her doing this. Memorial Day weekend 2019, food counter, Walmart 62. Should be Saturday, 8 to 10:30. They found it November 23rd down at Fine Arts in Lancer. Some agent was down there. Officer, we found the tape of that idiot woman breaking. They did all this for her daughter. The one guy, February 25th, 22, McDonald's on Whipple by Fulton Road, so it's on the corner. He came in ahead of me. I thought, I'm not afraid of you. He came in and announced that about my ex-husband going to a store in Ravenna. Told everybody he didn't want me anymore. Been trying to get rid of me for a while, and everything he didn't work. And asked all those people to help, and it's just been the people in the store doing it to me ever since. The Michelle, the Lauren, the big boob girl, pretty dark hair girl. They said it was a Henry that cut me up. 12/21/18, somebody's Coldwell's case. And then the rape and tortures between July and September 19. I came home, today people were harassing me. So I went up, or yesterday I went up to Ravenna, and I sat out and played that big long statement. And a Freemason in vehicle pulled in, was listening. They used to help protect me when I was out. I came home from Ravenna, I pulled in my spot. Some young kids walked by. We listened to her today. We know those bastards raped her. And nobody better say a word while we're out here. It's horrifying here. If you want the serial killers that hang outside my apartment at night screaming stuff, They said it's just a group of the people at the store that day. The guy said that. They all agreed to help. The bitchy divas of Ravenna, their 6 families, and because Michelle's a retired judge's daughter, the undercover police let them play a real-life case of how to get away with murder. And a 6 serial killer named Henry, cutting people up, and probably, since he's a surgeon, probably gave him the drugs. And here they were drugging me, photoshopping me up before. I've never been questioned with Miranda rights. I've never been prosecuted, and I've never been found guilty. They can't just break in and stalk you, Photoshop scenes from a shower scene in another room, and then drug you up, and you've never been questioned of anything, and then to frame you in case you didn't die. You can hear them still outside. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's been going on all night. I was finding this at 8 p.m. With the Protected Life case, everybody was following everybody around. They found all the kids lying. The Massillon police always verify. For the Protected Life case, they watched my daughter-in-law Dixie. They threw her around, trying to keep them safe. Hearing around the house state case is what officers in uniform call Protected Life custody for informant. Like they got the Amish men with the beards. Because per Department of Justice, police and agencies can only be in a home under threat of life. Failure to notify or initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. And who do you report? Anybody for surveillancing you in your home. Department of Justice, FBI, ICE, and local police departments, illegal search and seizure. That's why that heavy-set cop, after Will took my statement, made a public statement at Walmart at the food counter that he asked Dave about those people threatening me. He better not put his hands on me until he finds out what's going on. And that made Will's case legal. He didn't know that guy went to Paymer, impersonated a federal officer either. He went and talked to Dave. But it made Carol around the house state case legal. That's what officers in uniform have called it. I will hope somebody gets a hold of this quickly. And I'll tell you what, the only thing that's going to happen if they mention a tape before the FBI, by federal law, they have to go to jail. Oh, when I went in and I talked to the FBI about Dave and I played some of the tapes, well, they come right from the case. They sold a login by Christmas 18. Everybody has it. But I got Dave demanding of no, the church people taking up the money to hire men to kill me. The one agent said, well, he told us he didn't know anything about it. I thought, I got him to stay in a legally parked house. They hadn't even pulled the case. Lying to a federal officer, you can get 5 years just for that. You don't have to talk to him because you have the right to remain silent. But you can't lie to him. It comes down to that. And with Will's case, they were in the Protected Life custody case in that house and in my apartment. There's so many horrifying crimes. It's like houses of horror. They need to pull the case in like they got the Amish men with the beards. They got them dead to rights. And there can't be a tape before, because the only thing that happens is they go to jail for stalking and illegal search and seizure. And it's 3 to 5 years. They can't look a lesson, because then we don't have to worry about the shower scene in the other room and drug confessions and people coming down and verifying that I never said I did anything wrong before, and then other people saying they seen drug confessions, and then ratting everybody else out involved where I have bruises I couldn't explain for a culpa. And here they were drugging me up with amnesia drugs. That's why I couldn't remember to tell Will about the guy impersonating an agent. I'm telling you, me the night before. My head was spinning too bad. These people are a domestic terrorism group. Domestic terrorism is a group of people to further their ideology, their way of thinking, by threats to human life and harm to human life, breaking the U.S. government laws. It's domestic terrorism. They could end up in jail the rest of their life just for opening their mouths and being part of it. Somebody had already said anybody stupid enough to participate in this. Anybody stupid enough. Helping out, drugging, stalking, photoshopping to help people get away with murder. Yeah. And then impersonating federal officers and framing them for drugging somebody up and for cutting them up and for raping them and for selling a police log and protective custody cases. There's life in federal prison. They're playing with hell. They run around threatening me with their crimes, which is amazing. I just look at them like, how stupid are you? I talked to the local police about it, and they told me not to worry about a little thing. What they did was illegal. It comes down to no matter what until Lowell took your statement and agreed to protect you. There's nothing else. It'd be illegal to look or listen. The only thing can happen is they go to jail. Oh, but we drugged her and told her to say this before. Well, Dave drugged her. Oh, the church people did. Oh, this weird man in Burlington Coat Factory. Oh, the boys had to break in and drug her and tell her to say it. No one mentioned those tapes. I mean, it's just like the biggest chaos of the stupidest criminals. And they've made it public knowledge, and so it's with selling the log, and everybody knows I was drugged and framed. And they still won't shut up. It's like it's gonna take somebody to put them in jail just to shut their mouths. And they'll be saying, but look, we got a Photoshop shower scene. Can we get her in trouble? Yeah, we all know about it. Here, we got where she had those big bruises. We broke in with amnesia drugs and drugged her and told her to say something. Here, we gave Dave a roofie and told her to say something. We already know. Shut up. It's Will case stands alone. It's not admissible. And where they're looking for the actual person behind everything, they're just going to get sucked into the vacuum of everybody going to jail. I went through McDonald's yesterday. Some lady said all the people that were helping out are realizing they can go to jail for this. They can life in federal prison. Where did anybody think any of this is fucking funny for rich divas of Ravenna? It's just Michelle, that Lauren, that big boob girl, and that pretty dark hair girl and her friends and families in that thing, in that store that day. That guy from Ravenna, February 25th, 22 at noon, walked into McDonald's ahead of me, and I thought, I'm not afraid of you. What are you going to do, be mean to me? I've already almost been shot. I've been tortured. I've been raped. I've been almost murdered. I've been stalked. I've been drugged. I've been framed. What are you going to do, be mean to me? Go ahead. You know, the most you're going to do is make me go outside and smoke a cigarette. Or buy some chocolate. I've lived through too much. He walked ahead of me, and then he goes in and he's running his mouth. Okay? I'm by the counter, and he's sitting at a table. You can see him from the counter, a white-haired man with white hair. And he's from Ravenna. I seen him harass me before. He comes in, and he's like, I'm tired of this. He said, he was running his mouth. He said the boys in the courthouse told Will I was lying, and so he wouldn't help me. Okay. Well, that explains some things. And he's running his mouth about other stuff. Then all of a sudden he said, you know, her ex-husband showed up in a store in Ravenna. Said, I've been trying to get rid of my wife for a while, and nothing I do works, and I don't want her anymore. Will you all help me? And they all agreed. It's just been the store, people in the store from Ravenna doing this tour the whole time. And he said even though it's been those people doing it to her, this one guy thought it was amazing what she lived through. He wanted to meet her. I told him I said I didn't care anymore. And some guy walks up and says, hi, I'm Vito. McDonald's Whipple. in the corner of Fulton Road. While their surveillance has only been a few months, McDonald's should still have it. February 25th, 22, around noon. A white guy with white hair walked in ahead of me, and he says it loud enough that everybody in the restaurant heard. It's not funny, and it's just been the bitchy divas of Ravenna and the undercover police letting them run a real life case of murders, basically selling murder and terrorism online. And it's not funny they did that. And there was they said some guy named Henry was the one that cut me up. June 2nd or 3rd, I went through Dunkin' Donuts in Louisville about 11:40 p.m. Some young guy was in the drive-through, and I've heard about Henry. I don't know who he is. And he's probably, since he's some kind of surgeon, probably gave him the drugs. I said, I told that Henry he had no right. Well, they said she's a bad person. I don't care what they say about her. He had no right. I told him that, so he knows who Henry is. Just because somebody calls you a bad person, someone don't break in and cut your skull open unless they're a serial killer. Somebody had already said last year the problem with these people, they're murderers. They are. If the law would have had a problem with me, they would have knocked on the door and asked me a few questions. And if it got deep, they'll give you a Miranda right. And then they'll take it to the prosecutor, get subpoenaed with an attorney. Can't afford one, I'll be appointed to you. And you still don't have to talk to them. And then they'll subpoena you in front of a judge with your attorney. The way out, if the evidence is even admissible, that's where you get charges. Okay? And then you get bailed out till you're found guilty or innocent in a court order for a trial. And nothing ever happened. Nobody even spoke to me. Because like the police told Dave, there was January 25th, 2019, an illegally booked house, 8:30 to 10:30 at night. The police always knew she was innocent. Therefore, they were talking about it at the station. Some guy was bailing this guy out from a team and offered to pay a fine or bail and said the police already knew I was innocent before. And they knew somebody else did something wrong before. Just like my security guard, December 9, 21, Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street, a white man bald with dark eyes, distributing food. He was one of my guards, came out and said we always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. Just like they told Ed, December 9, 21, at the Oakland apartment at 4 p.m., all the tapes before were them, not her. It's just a group of men doing crimes down here. Just like May 12, 22, Bubba's Restaurant, where I'm like, the only time they put a shower scene, I guess, in another room. And I'm sitting alone in my legally apartment, and they sold it. It's like, well, the only time I touch myself like that is showering. Walk outside and they're laughing. She figured out what they did. Well, my car's bugged. And so everybody with the login got it. Those guys, May 12, 22 at noon, 6 of them scream at those guys driving by. We all found a tape of those boys admitting it was a tape in the other shower scene in the other room. None of this is funny. KFC Belden, May 26, 22 at noon. A guy walks in, the attorney had it set up so it looked like she was weird with herself, and some idiot man told on him for putting a shower scene in the other room. Now they can't use it. Well, it was more than one man with integrity. And then I've got all the people telling on Dave for drugging me, the church people and the boys in the courthouse where I had bruises I couldn't explain. And after I called the FBI, I wake up with more bruises, and they come up to Walmart. We always knew you were San Antonio. Remember the Sonia Beth? I'll tell someone you're arrested. It's me and my men that question you tonight. That's why you got bruises. I'm like, who are you? And I'd walk off, and I was sick, and I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. I weighed 212 to 217, October 1st of 18. And by February 24th, I weighed 150 pounds. I lived through a concentration camp from these people playing Nazis on me. I couldn't even keep saliva down from being drugged up so bad. Someone needs to pull Will's case and watch 12/21/18. People are complaining because they really cut me up that day. And people need to take care of what is going on down here. And if somebody opens their fucking mouths, just put them in jail as an accessory. Some guy looked at me and said, "You know better and feel sorry for no man, and you apologize to no man. You hear? You know better." I do. I feel sorry for no one putting their name on this. You want to put your life in federal prison for drugging somebody up, cutting them up, raping, torturing them, and publicly humiliating them, and trying to kill my son, my daughter-in-law, my granddaughter, and trying to kill other people up there. I feel sorry for no man putting their name on this. You are desperate, horrible, horrible criminals and need to be locked up. Domestic terrorism is a group of people furthering their ideology, their way of belief, by threats to human life and harm to human life against the U.S. government laws. I have never been questioned. I have never been accused. I have never been prosecuted of any wrongdoing. I'll be like the investigators that work the case. What are these people talking about? You want to talk about the want Steve and Eric that the Massillon police are looking for? November 24th, 21, 8:40 a.m. Massillon Stat Care. Officer in uniform comes in. I'm here to watch her. There's Steve and Eric stalking her. We don't know who they are yet. This finally got funny after everything they did. Nothing's admissible. Just like before Christmas of 21, I go back into the Stark County Hunger Task Force. There's the security's walking around with walkie-talkies and informants here. Two white guys with white hair walk out of the back room. We're mad that guy knew they did everything to her before and didn't say a word. And some guy named Eric trying to help him get away with us, and we don't know who he is yet. They're wanted by the Canton and the Massillon police. They're stalkers because they put their name on their legal surveillance. They were talking about it outside my clients in Navarre, and they said it was actually the older African American man with the short top hat thing who ran in the shower. And he actually did the shower scene in the other room. They even admitted they framed me March 24th, 22, 1:30, two apartment buildings for me. Some heavyset guy and his dark-haired woman outside, always yelling illegal surveillance. Some old white guy was out there screaming at him, "You framed her before?" "Yeah, I framed her before." "Shame on you." "I know, I wish I wouldn't have done it." I found out those people even raped her. My neighbor Amy's like, "I heard that clear in my apartment, the apartment building for me, second close to the fence." Read it out. Dave on 8/9/21. First thing in the morning told the police that he actually drugged me and told me to say stuff before. They came out and called him a bastard. Even children the Saturday after March 24th this year in Dollar General was talking to his mom. "Those bastards really framed her before," and said yes. I told these people to stop saying stuff to her. They had no right in my home. How would they like it? Some serial killer to come up to them. We had a borderer watching when there's no such thing. The bruise you had, we have a sodium pentothal report. We place charges against you. You don't give up everything in life, we'll put you in jail. It's like serial killer 911. You know, that's why the police cross their arms and laugh. Don't worry about a little thing. What they did is illegal. It comes down to no matter what. Nobody was allowed in your home. It's a special protected light cases only. And nobody drugs anybody but serial killers. And nobody watches them either but serial killers, except for special protected light cases. They don't realize they need to start looking at these people for who they are. They're nothing but murderers. That's what's wrong. I was found innocent at 18. My family spoke highly of me, and they found Mel's kids stating they were lying on Thanksgiving 18 that they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa, and then Grandma needs to get out. And then later on the floor, we're making everything up. They're documenting games of pretend laughing in the basement. And the rest of my family spoke highly of me. All this was wiped out in 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18 And the only thing that they've done is included themselves with an obstruction to justice, impersonating federal officers, dragging, photoshopping, and stalking a victim they were getting ready to kill. And why do they want to go to jail for this? You know, it's to the point I get my legally by cards like I double dog dare you, say something. I double dog you, dare you. I triple dog dare you. Say something. Say you're part of it. Prove to a cop that you stalked me in my home. They'll put nice little bracelets on you. It's like I double dog dare you. You want to run by screaming and stuff? That's why the police say as soon as somebody mentions one thing about illegal surveillance, call 911, we'll take care of them. It's illegal to be in somebody's home. If an officer takes you unaware in their home, they lose their badge and they can go to jail 3 to 5 years of legal search and seizure, and it's not admissible per Department of Justice. Who do you report, the police or any agency for anybody for surveillance in your home? Department of Justice, FBI, ICE, and local police department. Under the Department of Justice, it said it recognizes the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy, that a man's home is his castle and it's not to be entered into. And it makes it a legal search and seizure. If you go further into the law, police and agencies can only be in a home under threat of life. Failure to notify for initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Then it would go into the right of privacy, a legal search and seizure. That's why Officer Reinhardt Louisville crossed his arms and started giggling. Said, it comes down to no matter what, until Will took your statement and agreed to protect you, it would be illegal to look or listen. Because that way you don't have to worry about people framing you, photoshopping shower scenes, people seeing drug confessions, other people not, the lady not in her group not seeing drug confessions before, where I had giant bruises and hand marks where they were even beating me under amnesia drugs to make me say stuff. Yeah, she didn't see it. That's where it's phenomenal. January 1st to 25th of this year, Circle K gas station, Fulton Road by 6th Street. I'm using the restroom. They come in and say we made a big mistake being in her home. She's never said she did anything wrong before. Me and my group came down to verify it. Or they have dark confessions before she didn't see it, and she was a shower scene lady. And she's like, I don't even care about that one. Those people even raped her. Yeah, everybody knows that cop rape. They think it's funny raping women. They think it's funny drugging them up and framing them. They think it's funny photoshopping shower scenes and having a serial killer cut them up and put it online and make money for it. They're sick demons of hell, and these people aren't smart enough to be afraid of them. Other people have gone into different areas in Canton and stuff, and they've said, we've called the FBI, this is really going on, you need to do something about it. More people ought to be doing it. They're nothing but serial killers. They didn't have a quarter to watch me. June of 19, Liberty House here, the Ravenna police told the North Canton, Jackson police, and everybody in there, worst thing I ever did wrong was bend over and properly we can wipe that one out. They only made fun of the back of my knees. And then one of them was on the phone with someone you made up a case to watch her before. That's funny. You did what to her before? That's funny. She must really like him. They framed me. And they think it's funny. It's not. And everybody knows it. And more people ought to be reaching out as fast as possible because they're nothing but murderers. They told us it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here December night, 21, 4 p.m. at the Oakland Apartments. And he told the Canton police and investigators, and that other guy told the investigators. And there was the Stark County Sheriff, the Jackson police, and some Canton officers working the case. And there may have been an FBI car driving by too. When May 12, 22, when they were screaming at them from the balcony or the patio area of Bubba's restaurant with a big old camera outside of them finding a tape, they admitted being a shower scene in the other room. That none of this is funny. Told you. May 12, 22 at noon, and by 12:30 I go to Sheets, and the guys are in there complaining by the ordering station, tape and audio. They knew all those boys raped me, and they knew those boys raped me, and none of this is funny. They're in there complaining. It's not funny when cops are rapists, druggers, and framers. It makes them hardened criminals. They need to get a hold of this. These people are extremely dangerous.